Good afternoon, traders. Hello, Simple Stocks. Hello, Discord. Climber here. I wanted to push out an NVDA video today. They have the earnings this afternoon after the close. And my stress about earnings is never about the earnings night itself. So I'm not trying to squeeze this video to this afternoon so you guys can put an earnings trades on. It's quite the opposite. I'd love to talk about the levels and then the potentials that we have going forward and once the earnings are behind us. So a lot of people, I call them the Twitter traders, they're just really wound up about what's going to happen tonight. Should I buy calls? Should I buy puts? What kind of trade I can put on? Well, my friend, just a few days ago when NVIDIA dipped to 168, when I open the chart here, you will see I bought calls for October, I bought calls for December, and I bought calls for March. And I have been sitting in my stocks from $86 from April correction, and I've been selling covered calls against them. I am actually in the 16th campaign right now, 16 sold calls against the April shares. And so those trades are put on at right levels. You don't try to put a trade on one of these mega caps that are quality companies that have excellent underlying businesses. Those trades are done with levels, not really the morning of the earnings or the week of the earnings. Obviously, the Friday that's coming up is going to be really juicy if you're a seller. But that's like a drop in the ocean, compared to what I have been making on NVIDIA. So I think the hype is at the wrong place. I think I'm going to try to stress what really the potentials are going forward into the fall, into December, and into next year with NVIDIA. So this is the monthly chart. I call this my clean chart, right? There's nothing on it, so there's no reason to like the FEG gaps are there, but let's keep them on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green months. That was April correction, and we are drawing some like really distinct levels here. So I think if NVIDIA goes up, I will show you some Fibonacci levels that will give you some idea as for the targets. It has been pulled on the monthly, so obviously you're gonna have to look out in time a little bit. They're not going to be for tomorrow or next week. But if V goes down, I think it's best to probably talk about that first. Let's take a look at those things that I have. Let's turn them all on. And then let's take a look at some levels here. So the monthly chart, these are basically drawn from a January high to the April correction low. Okay. And the potential... So this is 100% level on the Fibonacci's. When you pull from a higher upper left to lower right, you're basically looking for a retracement, which we got more than the 100%. So where could it go once it actually goes above this without a hitch? Let's see. So the potential for NVIDIA is that the next level up, normally you only try to make your trade to one level up from the Fibonacci, and then the second level up would be kind of your runners. But in this case, when something moves like this and does a complete retracement back to the main level, back to the 100% level, it is not unreasonable to expect the 1618, which is the most common targeted area. So most of the traders who are doing what I'm doing, who work with Fibonacci's religiously, they are looking at this area. I wouldn't be surprised a lot of the traders actually take profit when NVIDIA gets here. And I'm talking about people who are in from here. So 1618, 65-75% of the time, this will be the most likely target. And the level to leave some runners on, or just a smaller portion of your position, would be this level. And these need to be interpreted as kind of out in time. This was drawn, I think I've done this on the monthly. Even if you did on the weekly, it doesn't matter. So you're looking at basically, if you're going to play these levels, you need to be out here. All right. Now, as you can see on a weekly basis, there is some little consolidation going on here. And I spotted this on actually a smaller time frame, but weekly shows is kind of a little bit better too. So I'm going to switch to daily. I will show you something here. That orange box you're seeing, let's reset the chart. That orange box you're seeing is basically a near-term range, right? So I had this line here at about 164, which was really important. But when I look at something like this, like a flag and then in a box, there's a clear consolidation going on here. So NVIDIA is doing here basically what it did here, right around the other earnings. This was also kind of a sideways area. And I remember this time because I was on vacation, and most people's calls, I know, the earnings gap up and then down. Most people's calls on this Friday to this Friday or to this Friday actually expired out of the money. They killed a lot of people's calls. Right around these earnings, they expected NVIDIA to do this, basically go from here 130s to 150s, 160s. People were so sure of it. And looking at this chart at the time, I talked extensively about this. I said, I don't see it. I think NVIDIA is going to moderate. I think NVIDIA might spike. I think this was our spike. What was the spike again? 140s, and then drop, but not drop a lot. Basically just stay inside of this. If I draw another rectangle here, it would basically look like what I did right here. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that NVIDIA has risen and it is floating up, but it is also really consolidating. And this box here, I expect NVIDIA to use this parts of this box as still the floor going forward. So this red box here is the expected move. They're calling about an $11 up and down. So from the current price, that makes it to maybe 192.5 and then down to 170.5. So if NVIDIA spikes, if NVIDIA gets the expected move and some, yeah, I think 190 is almost a guaranteed tap. I think it'll definitely tag it, at least during the announcement period around 4:35. And based on the earnings conference call, that's where really the meat of the earnings are. I think NVIDIA will eventually moderate. So I think what I'm trying to say is that I don't really see NVIDIA like the Twitter saying 225s or a collapse like in this area. I think there are some hard lines. There are some hard levels for NVIDIA. I'm going to go back to the monthly to show you some safety levels. So I think if NVIDIA ever has a really bad time, like whether it's this earnings or another earnings, I think NVIDIA has a very hard level at right around all of these wicks are captured. Basically, I basically want to put my line right here, and this 138 level. I think this 138 level is basically concrete going forward. So I know it will take correction to get there. I'm not calling it for this earnings, but I just want to make some clear levels here, and that is basically, what is that? 25% from here. Now, for NVIDIA to drop 25%, that would call for a 12 to 15% of SPY drop or Q's drop, something like that. So it's not that I'm expecting this, but it's nice to know that there is definitely a floor here now. Now, one above that, let's talk about what would be another safety net that would catch someone if NVIDIA falls. The next one will be definitely up in this area. So right here would be my other line. So 138, 148-ish. This is the breakout candle. So you have to be really be careful about this thing. This is the breakout candle. Most of the time we test this, and if they test the breakout candle, they will be testing the previous long time, November to January all-time highs. And in which case this floor will be tested. So a lot of the times these candles hold up with companies like NVIDIA. So that's important to know. And the next level up is at 164. Now, when I said I got those calls, it was actually based on a 2-hour chart. Reset the chart. I believe it was Wednesday last week. Yep, right here. So 168. When I looked at this chart, when I looked at this trend, and all of these retracements were really good trades. Some of them I traded, some of them I didn't. But right here, I got some longer term calls. I got the Octobers, I got the Decembers, and I got the March calls. And like I said, I'm selling calls against the shares. I'm already in the shares. I have been in the shares since NVIDIA was, man, I think it was $19 or $20. This is before the split, $19 and $20, you know, before it was in the $1,000 or $900, whatever it was. So, you know, I've been in it for 2+ decades. And I have been trading on and off also, like I'm also adding and, you know, selling from the trading account. So, but these ones are from there, and all those calls are up a lot today. But I'm going to keep them, and I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing, but I will definitely work with the targets. I'm not going to set virtual targets like 200 or 225. I'm not going to do that. Depending on what this box does, how this consolidation goes, this is my target. If you have been in NVIDIA shares and calls, this would be a great place to lighten up and then redeploy the money on something that looks like this, that looks like what NVIDIA looked like in April or May or June. Okay, I think that would be the smarter trade. Sitting in something that already made $100 or $75 to capture the final $8-10 is not a good trade. All right. So that's my take on it. And one of the trades that I really like for myself is something like this October 51-day looks great. I don't mind to sell a 150 and then maybe get in a call debit spread that'll pay me $130. Now I would love to jump on it at 150. I have capital to do so. If this is not a number you should be buying shares, then your puts should be here, or maybe it should even be a put spread. Okay, I'm sorry, credit put spread. So but this, I identified this as my comfort level, and these guys can also be here to make this pay a little bit more. But do not move this based on how much you want to get paid. This really should be outside of one standard deviation, in my opinion, for 51 days, and it should be here or better than here. But for me, this is perfect. I can make it work. I know I can make it work from there, and these call debit spreads can be anywhere, but I would not put this anywhere closer than anywhere closer than this blue one. I think I would keep this here. If you're gonna do my trade, if this is the idea, I think this is a good one that would pay $130. It would keep you as long, and the max profit will be this, but you would only make this if this whole spread before that date goes in the money. Okay, so you may have to kind of design your thing based on the max profit and the max loss. I wouldn't worry. If you worry about the max loss of a stock, basically if the stock goes to zero, your max loss. If you are worried about max losses in the stock market of shareholding, you should not be in the stock market. But max profit and buying efficiency matters. So design this based on what your account and what your risk reward looks like. So this is one of the ideas I have, and this could really be done any day. This is not really done to this Friday. It is not a time sensitive one, but I wanted to give people something who wanted to go long without taking a lot of risk, and who would also like the opportunity maybe to get an NVIDIA on lower ranges. So that's my outlook, and that's what I'm seeing. I am not gonna put a specific tonight earnings trade on unless Nick comes up with something really interesting like Iron Butterfly maybe. But other than that, I really expect NVIDIA to rise up, tag 190s, and then moderate, and then eventually in the next week or two use this box as a stepping stone. The middle of this box, 175, will more than likely become our new floor, and the top of the box will more than likely become our launch pad. But I don't expect that launch today. That's what I'm trying to say, I think. Okay, all right guys, I'll see you in Discord.